Good evening, everyone. This is Gil at Camppatton Family Compound. With me tonight, we got Tammy at Rebel Canners and Mark at ChefTech. It is the Monday Night Fireside Chat, and tonight's topic is making dry mixes. And well, it'd be longer to be making dry mixes, storing them, everything else. And so I just had the title short. All righty, let's see who else here because I did not get typed in over there for most of them. In fact, the vast majority of them. So first one in was Shady Hill Homestead. And then Mark said hi to everybody. Then Kiki Gardens came in. Howie at Food Forest Permaculture. Renee Beard is in on your side there, Tammy.
Hey, Renee, thanks.
Yeah, and let's see. Super Scouts here. Kaylin Strain's here. Diane's here.
Howie's here.
Yeah,
You said Howie.
I said Howie. Howie's in here first, yeah.
I just want to make sure. Hi, Howie.
Yeah. And something I've noticed, because I got StreamYard in front of me, people, and over here I got Camppatton Family Compound, so I make most of my comments over on that one. But I noticed something on it. It's got about a 2-minute delay behind. YouTube is delaying it going out. And if I look at this, put my cursor where it says I was 2 minutes behind, so I had to click live to get back up to speed.
I just want to say one thing, Howie. You'd be very proud of me this week. I used my Pathway soil bank to fill some of my raised beds.
Excellent. Okay. And Diana's on both sides.
Hi, Diana.
All right. I know this isn't canning, but it is still food preservation, and it's quote cheating by making stuff ahead of time, so you're not sitting there trying to make stuff from scratch, which is always a good thing when you can do it. All right, so let me go over here. And I got some stuff to look at here before we. All right. I just, off the top of my head. So dry mixes, we got spice mixes, meal mixes, seasoning mixes, which is different than spice mixes.
Yes.
Cake mixes, baking mixes, pantry mixes, brownie mixes, cooking mixes, chili mixes, and probably
Lots
a bunch
of mixes.
Lots
of mixes.
Yeah. Now the seasoning mix I put in there separately from spice mixes because my wife lately has been liking getting the dry mix. It's the Hidden Valley Ranch Dressing Dry Mix. And Uncle Richard is in on Tammy's side. And she's been using that as a seasoning mix for making different things. But I couldn't find it again. There is a YouTube or two video out there about how to make the Hidden Valley Ranch Dressing dry mix that you just add the liquids to, so you can use that in different cooking or whatever you're doing. So that is out there. Oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. I do have soup mixes on there. One of my wife's favorite stuff are the dry French onion soup mixes, and some of the other ones to use not for making soup, for making meatloaf, for making stews, The
only one you don't have there that I see, I just did a series on gravy mixes.
Gravy mixes, yes. We talked about that just time flies. That's 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Yeah,
we talked about canning gravy, but that was close.
And we talked about the dry mixes too for it too. Okay.
And I've been saving my jars. Here's a nice size pickle jar. It's bigger than a quart for some of these mixes, and then you just vacuum seal it.
Excellent. All right, now I got the good and the bad and the ugly coming up here. Actually, going to be the ugly, the bad, and the good.
So let me guess. Tammy's the good, you're the bad, and I'm the ugly one in the middle.
No.
Oh, okay.
You're the one that won't show your face.
Hey, the ugly is that contains bioengineered food ingredients.
Yeah, where can I buy that ingredient for my pancake mix?
So this is the ingredients off of the Bisquick box.
No.
No, she didn't say no to you, Gil.
Yeah, I know. I was waiting for him to stick his head in. So, you look at it, and I know just not everybody has used Bisquick once in their life.
Most of us grew up on that stuff.
Yeah, and the stuff we grew up on isn't the same stuff they're selling now.
Oh, hell no. My mom would make Bisquick pancakes, Bisquick waffles, Bisquick biscuits. She would pour it on top of pot pie, and that was your pot pie topper for chicken pot pie.
And it's no longer the same thing as what what any of us grew up with.
It had like 4 ingredients back then. You added your eggs and whatever you're going to make, follow the recipe on the box. Now it's just a train wreck of,
Didn't have vegetable oil in the mix. You had to add that to it. And here it says vegetable oil, palm, canola, what in the heck, soybean oil,
oleic,
soybean, and
or
sunflower oil. Yeah.
Don't forget the dextrose. Got to have that.
You got to have the dextrose
and your sodium aluminum phosphate.
Yeah, the cornstarch here is they just put cornstarch because they're not required to put highly modified cornstarch, although some people do put it in. And then, of course, at the bottom you have your monoglycerides.
Yeah, and don't forget the salt and sugar. I mean, yeah.
Well, that's
they put that in bold print because that makes you read the bold print. Look, it has enriched bleached flour, vegetable oil, cornstarch, dextrose for leavening, salt, sugar, and monoglycerides. Contains wheat ingredient. You don't read the small print. That's the fine print.
Yeah. So
welcome to marketing 101.
I was looking here earlier, and there are a bunch of homemade versions of this, but some of the stuff that people are putting in there is like, no, I'm not going to put that in. I was trying to find one that is a copycat of the old version my grandmother used, but I got an answer for that at the end here, don't we?
Yep.
Now, this one is since Sam's Club came out and started doing their buttermilk. Oh, lost Tammy. You should come back here.
The cat knocked her phone off the table.
That we were using this when it first came out, and even this has changed in the 15 years since it came out. And I'm looking at all the crap, folic acid. No, folic acid is not natural. It's not, it's bullshit. Yeah, okay. But it's everything in it. And of course, down at the bottom here, contains bioengineered food ingredient. Oh, yeah, that is the soybean oil and the defatted soy flour. Oh, it does have butter. It has eggs in it.
Yep. Natural and artificial flavors. Don't forget your natural flavors, which could be naturally derived from, I don't know, oil that percolated out of the ground naturally. Yeah, that's it.
But so I'm looking for a we'll come back to this one with Mark, especially here in a minute, because he has a cool way of doing it. We don't have that piece of machinery yet, but we will be. Took by V came in. Happy Matt came in over on Tammy's side. It looks like Tammy's trying to come back up, fighting the internet. I still got a white screen down below. So there she is.
Said, Krusty's used to be good. We used to get it for our kids. Even that's crap now.
Yeah. So Tammy, Happy Matt came in over on your side. Okay, and all right. So we're looking. So I'm going to come back to this one with Mark to talk about the eggs here in a minute. The Duncan Hines white cake mix used to be so simple on their ingredients. Look at the friggin' ingredients. Now it's got more sugar in it than it does enriched bleached white flour or wheat flour. Of course, which also has, they stripped so much stuff out of it, they had to put a bunch of stuff back into it, and they put some BS in their folic acid. But you got your emulsified palm shortening. And so also, but over here in the orange here, I looked up a copycat ingredient list, and it had 2 ingredients. It had the dry powder list up here on the top, 4 ingredients. Then it had the stuff you added once you went to make it. Now, the 1 cup of white vegetable shortening, the blue can that now is that was actually was developed as for Germany as a axle grease stuff, but but there are other things you can use to substitute instead of putting in that 1/2 cup of white axle grease into the mix. But it got 1 cup buttermilk and 2 eggs, and it's got all the stuff that you need. Also, the option is the 1 teaspoon almond 1/2 teaspoon almond extract. But that's just one of the ones.
The one thing my mom used to do if she didn't have any Bisquick back in the day, or even if she did, for pancakes, if it was like a special treat, she threw in like a tablespoon of cocoa powder or 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. So we had chocolate pancakes.
My mom would throw in a tablespoon or 2 of cinnamon into the mix.
Oh, I do that. I did that with the ones I freeze dried in my Kodiak mix. That's one to look up. Look up Kodiak pancake ingredients, because I'm pretty sure
they haven't gone up to the dark side.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to pull it up on my phone right now, but it keeps glitching out. My dog's barking at me.
In a minute here. Tammy, you started to say something?
So, yes, back before I got booted off the internet and had to come back, because we had 80-mile-an-hour straight line winds, so I may go in and out. We may not have service. I'm surprised we have power. Anyway, if you want to find the one your grandmother used, it's called Master Mix. So when you look it up for the old Bisquick, original Bisquick, it's under Master Mix.
Master Mix?
Master Mix.
Okay. And speaking of what stuff my grandmother used, yes, the old ones. Go to the thrift stores. Look for the old ones, like on the left. This is the 1965 one. My mom had that one too. My grandmother had one of these. My mom had the other one. There's a whole bunch of them that someone put out of what they had. Oh, she lost again.
I got the old brown one from the 50s, I think, from my mom, and one of the red and white ones from my 65.
Yeah. But yeah, these are just, took of it wasn't so clear. The picture they took, it says it's high pixels, but they loaded it in a small format instead of the large format, which is actually the number of pixels. So when you enlarge it, it goes. Blah. All right. Angel's Homestead is in here too now. All right, so, and that's the last one. So let's go back up to this one here. Now, so this says it has eggs in it. I'm wondering.
Not sure how they do that. They're pasteurized and then dried.
Yeah.
Or something. They do something to the eggs before, because you can't just dry an egg and drop it in unless you freeze dry it. That's a different method there.
But then it's raw. And there's no way to keep the moisture out of it, especially the new ones. We're up here at the top left. It says cut along line, resealable bag. It's not a resealable bag. It's a Velcro bag.
Yeah.
All right. Tammy's trying to come in. Okay. Her device is not connecting. The wind is interfering with the internet there. Because if I try adding her to the stage, it comes up black. Oh, there she is. That comes in. But so now the way Mark does this, because he's an extremist that I want to become like.
Extremist. Great. That's you're gonna throw me on a list for being a food extremist now.
Hey, you're the one that went to chef school. That makes you an extremist.
No, that didn't make me an extremist. Just watching what's going on in the world and start to do my own thing, I guess, made me a foodie extremist.
Uncle Richard says bad reception. I'm way behind.
Yeah, he's way behind. That's YouTube doing that. And he
Yeah.
has crappy reception where he is anyway. I know that.
So you were saying before we came live here about how you would do it. You would you would freeze dry your eggs.
I freeze dry raw eggs anyway. I probably have like 200 dozen eggs in jar, 10 eggs per jar, pint jar, freeze dried on my shelf, ready to go. I've made scrambled eggs out of it, omelets, whatever. I haven't added it to any of my baking yet because I just haven't really had the desire to use my freeze dried eggs. So I got fresh eggs from my neighbor or my friend up the road. So I just use those. But I can freeze dry my eggs. But if I'm going to make a pancake mix or some kind of a cake, any kind of a mix with flour in it, I'd literally have to freeze dry all the other ingredients too. Make sure there's zero moisture in there. I mean, none. So when I put the raw eggs into there, because they're freeze dried raw eggs, as soon as they start to get humidity on them and they start to reconstitute, they can grow bacteria. So I got to treat any raw food I freeze dry, treat as raw because it is, even though it's like powdery. But I could mix that all together, make sure everything's freeze dried, zero moisture with all the ingredients in a pan, and then just dump it in a bag and put my, say, okay, add, a cup of water if you're in the field, just add water. But chances of me making pancakes like in the field are slim to none. So I could freeze dry my flour and baking soda and everything else, put them separate in a jar. And that way I could just leave it on the shelf and have jarred stuff. Because the stuff, if you're going to make like pancake mix with the baking soda or baking powder or whatever to take camping or something, yeah, you're going to need to use that within a couple weeks. Because the baking soda will start to do its own thing. The baking powder will do its own thing. Even with the minimal amount of moisture in there, it'll deactivate. And then you go to make pancakes there. Now you have matzo cakes.
Okay.
I know because I've done that.
Angel's Homestead the reason why she just got back from the ER. They had her on an inhaler, got pneumonia. Oh no.
Ugh.
With all the high winds in Oklahoma, inhaled way too much dust. Yeah. All right, let me go ahead and get this back down off on the side here. Escape that. Drop that down. Okay, it was a master mix.
No, what? Oh, what Tammy was talking about? Yeah.
Yeah. Hang on here, get this over here.
They'll give you a Bisquick like your grandma used to make.
Okay. MAS master mix.
Yeah, put a master mix pancake to get that result. Master mix. I'm sure there's master concrete mixes. You're going to get 8 million things. Except
recipe comes up. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm going to share this. This is the AI overview. Master Mix is a versatile homemade shortcut equivalent to commercial baking mixes like Bisquick. Saves time in the kitchen by combining dry ingredients in bulk. You can quickly whip up baskets, waffles using a single base. I hate they throw this thing now. So this recipe equals about 13 cups of mix. And okay, so 8 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of non-fat dry milk powder, 1/3 cup baking powder, 1/4 cup sugar, 1 tablespoon salt, 2 cups solid vegetable shortening, which I would not use. I would rather add my.
But if you want to,
what was that, Tammy?
if you want to use like lard, if you want to use like lard, you just have to store it in the freezer.
Yes, or you just keep the lard separately and you tablespoon that in.
It's easier just to make it up and then put it in the freezer.
Yeah. Okay. Instructions in a massive mixing bowl.
Massive. They don't know what I got. If that was a massive mixing bowl in my definition, that thing would have 25 pounds of flour in it.
That's what I was thinking. Like one of those big
cups.
Hobart mixing bowls.
Oh no, I have a bowl. It's
one
24 inches wide by 12 inches deep. It's huge. It's for kimchi. When I do cabbage, you need a lot of bowl. Sorry, Tammy.
Yeah.
I have one that size too in my kitchen, and it's for when I bake. I make big things like this.
All right, here's it. So whisk together flour, dry ingredients, baking powder, sugar, salt, uniformly blended. Cut in the shortening using a pastry blender or food processor until it resembles a coarse cornmeal or wet sand. Transfer airtight container. Store in cool, dry place for up to 1 month, or in the refrigerator up to 3 months. Which means if you don't put the shortening in it, it'll go a lot longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as your flour doesn't grow bugs. But yeah.
Yeah.
Or just put it in the freezer. Like
Yeah.
that's what when I had all the all which is make the stuff in the freezer.
You're going, Mr. Roboto. We may lose you again here, Tammy. You're going Mr. Roboto right now.
There, she's back. Wait, no, she's not. There you are. She's back. She's gone. She's back. She's gone. Gotta love storm systems. They're awesome.
Yeah.
But Tammy, if I win the lottery, I'm gonna run fiber optic right to your cabin. So, and of course, build you a bigger cabin and whatever else you need in the barn, and yeah.
They just ran fiber optic in front of my cabin, and I went out to tell them that they might want.
And she's gone. See, they're listening to her. They just ran fiber optic.
Underground with that fiber optics out there. And also coming in here is Laura Mannion?
Or Mannion, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Laura.
Is she on Tammy's side or your side?
She's on my side, so
okay.
Welcome. I'm surprised my nephew's not in here. We were talking back and forth a lot last night. He said he was going to try to catch it today. He's down in Texas. So on this recipe for the master mix.
So what makes that stabler than adding just oil is the shortening. It's, well, depending on the shortening you're using, it's technically stable at room temperature anyway, and there's no moisture in it. So that's why they say you make it like a crumble. It's like when you make a cookie dough. If you add too much flour to it, well, that's when you
crumbles.
You cream the sugar and then you add the flour. It gets like crumbly. You have to add the eggs first. If you don't, you wind up with the crumbles, and which are great for making crumb cake. But anyway, that's another story.
So I'm looking at this. I'm thinking if I was going to make it with, like Tammy said, use lard instead of the solid vegetable shortening axle grease.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what it was created for. All right.
I know. Meanwhile, we all grew up with Mom taking that entire can, sticking the cast iron pot, and making French fries for dinner.
Or
put it back in the can.
Oatmeal cookies had scooping that stuff like the cookie dough. Oh, I got to hang on.
That's how my mom taught me how to measure, because I always tried to measure the Crisco in a cup. She's like, no, you literally fill your 4-cup liquid measure up to 3 cups, and you just drop in giant glops of Crisco until it hits 4 cups. There, I was like, oh, what an idea. So that's how I learned after my mom when I was like 8.
One of the things that interesting about the Crisco, back in the day, when my grandmother married her second husband, my step-grandfather, Rolly Harper, who was a chef and a motorcycle enthusiast, but back then they used to get the margarine which came white and came with little packets of the yellow dye to make dye yellow. So it
Make it
looked like
appealing. It looked like butter. Yay.
when my
And
grandmother was
they created margarine to make chickens fat, and it killed them. So let's give it to humans. It won't kill them as fast.
so when she was mad at Rolly, she would take Crisco and add the coloring to it and serve them up Crisco as butter.
That's
And
just
she
mean.
swears she never knew.
Well, you never know. It might have been better for you than the other stuff.
True. Which
My mom used to
thing
do
is,
that
though, the
with-
other stuff was probably Crisco with some flavoring in it.
What's that, Tammy?
My mom used to do that with egg whites. My dad had his first heart attack and he refused to eat just egg whites. And so my mom would wait till he's not in the kitchen, whip up some egg whites, and then put
Yellow food coloring.
food coloring in it.
Yep. And make them scrambled eggs, and he thought they were delicious.
All right.
Yeah.
The ghee will still go rancid with all those other ingredients in it if you don't freeze or refrigerate it. It still has the same shelf life as shortening.
And Sandra just came in on your side.
Hey, Sandra.
All right, hang on a second. Gotta.
Because you're taking the ghee and you're making more, when you pastry cut it in, you're making more surface area, so it'll actually go rancid faster than if it was just left in the jar.
Right. I mean, my ghee, I have ghee I bought when I got butter on sale for like $1.49 a pound like 5 years ago. I bought like 100 pounds and I made ghee out of it. I still have jars of ghee on my shelf downstairs. I use it and it's fine, but I just water bathed it after I packed it hot and then I just threw it in water bath for like 20 minutes. I had no time for it. I'm like, you know what? Let me just make sure if there's anything in there, it's dead. And yep, I didn't get any of that. I don't have any of the brown sediment on the bottom or anything like that because I did mine, strained it very well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, political, people getting overly political. And now somehow they got the church directory and they're using it. So I just had to chew on their butts there to tell them what you're doing using the church directory to contact people is illegal. All right. So
All right, what other kind of drill? We've been on pancake and cake mixes for like
just
a half hour now.
One final thing on this. So if you make up this big 16-cup batch and you got a vacuum sealer, you can put small individual batches like, I'm going to make pancake batch size, put them in the small vacuum seal bags, and then toss those in the freezer.
Yeah, and there, if you look it up under recipes for Master Mix, there's probably 100 recipes, like not just pancakes. There's like
and if you're gonna freeze it, you could use just whole butter and freeze it. You're fine.
Speaking of whole butter, there's Ferocious with
no kidding. It went on sale. It was normally like $1.99. It went on for $1.49, no limit at Lidl. And I went right to the manager. I was like, how much you got in the back? She's like, why? I was like, well, there's no limit. She's like, well, how many do you want? I was like, I need 3 cases. She's like, what do you need that for? And I told her I'm making ghee out of it. She's like, oh, what a great idea. So I came back and she literally carried out 3 cases in a shopping cart for me and said, here you go. And then the next week when they did it again, it was limit 5 because I wiped them out. Whoops. Sorry about that. I laughed. She laughed. It was funny.
Yeah. Well, that's why you get 5, you go out, you come back in, get 5, go out, come back in, get 5.
This is true. You can do that too. How many trips you want? I wanted to make 1 trip.
Yeah.
So it's 36, 72. It was 100. What was 108 pounds of butter.
Ooh. Yeah. All right.
Oh, I didn't have to refrigerate. I just left it sitting on the counter. It didn't matter. It wasn't going anywhere until I peeled them all. They were quarter sticks too, so it was a pain. But whatever.
All right. So I get the right one up here. That one there. And
But you can take any recipe out here and make it into a dry mix.
Yeah.
I've got spice mixes, I've got soup mixes, I've got gravy mixes, I have done cake mixes in a jar. I've done cookies in a jar. Like there are so many that you can do.
Yeah, my wife used to tell me we used to make our own shake and bake mix for chicken and pork chops. It was great. She knew what I forget what she has it somewhere. I know it was breadcrumbs, but I think there was baking powder or baking soda in there and cornstarch, and then the seasonings and all that. And we just mixed it in a jar and just left it in the cabinet. And before I had any of my toys, and yeah, she'd be like, "Oh, we're having shake and bake chicken tonight." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." She would just dump some in a bag, throw the chicken in there, shake it up, throw it in the pan, bake it in the oven. Good stuff.
I found a 20-pound bag for $14 of the Drake's coating. Oh, and that's all in jars and vacuum
Oh,
sealed.
for chicken, the fried chicken coating.
We do chicken nuggets. I do it in fish.
Right.
I do my fish in it. Everything.
Yeah. Our family, when the boys were in their mid to early teens, one of the favorite things that they loved was hamburger helper, especially the crunchy taco and the cheesy enchilada. Well, the crunchy taco and cheesy enchilada, the flavor packet is almost identical to each other. Just different noodles types things to it. So what she decided to do, since the price started increasing in their late teens, she could no longer get it at 10 boxes for $10, so $1 a box. Those sales were gone. She decided that she was going to make her own type stuff, and what she wound up doing was just making a variant of a taco seasoning, which tastes absolutely great no matter what we did it in. Whether it was doing taco meat, whether it was doing trying to do our version of the cheesy enchilada, or the other hamburger helper ones that were based off of that. And she'd make like it was an odd shaped jar, but it was a big jar, like a quart and a quarter jar, and she'd make that full of it, and she had printed on it taco meat, 2 tablespoons per pound, whatever, however many to put in there for making whatever she was making. And it's like, it's just, it's one of those things to say, you can experiment and create it. You may like the flavor of the original one and you're trying to copy, but as you experiment in making stuff, you may find one that you like better than the original.
You can just ask Uncle Richard that question. He likes to make stuff, and he'll make it, and he'll try to remember everything he put in it, but he puts too much of something or not enough of something else. He tries. He's like, all right, glad I only made 2 portions. That's all I'm eating. I'll never add too much oregano again.
Yeah.
And then he eventually gets where he likes it, and now he's just like, yep, I got this one down to a science, whatever it is.
Yeah. I think Kaylin's talking about that mixed stuff you got, Tammy. What was that stuff called again?
Drake's.
Greg?
Drake's, like a duck.
Drake's.
Drake's. Okay, Drake's.
It might be local to here, but it's really good. It makes the best French fried onion rings and the best chicken nuggets.
Hang on a second here. I'm going to look something up here.
Let me put it this way. Drake's for chicken nuggets is better than Chick-fil-A.
And it's Drake's what's it? Drake's
just put a Drake's fried chicken mix. You'll get it.
It's got like a duck on the package too, like a little
like a Drake.
Yeah, like a Drake.
Okay. Oh, so it looks like that?
Yes, exactly.
Ooh, 5 pound boxes.
If you
At
go to
Walmart,
Gordon Foods, you get the best sale on it.
Yeah, $126 for a 5-pound box. Holy
No.
smokeroni.
No. It's a 5-pound box, package of 10.
Oh,
So that's 50
I was
Okay.
gonna say,
pounds.
I got 20-pound bag for like $16.
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
And like I
So,
said, that went into vacuum seal jars.
Yeah. So you can find it on sale like that. That's great. I'm just looking at you can order online at Target, Walmart, Webster, all these different places you can order on. So, yeah.
But that's what a lot of commercial kitchens use. So if you go to one of those places like Gordon Foods or Cisco, I'm sure they have it.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their version of something. Yeah. Or they carry Drake's because no, Cisco doesn't make it. It's made by a separate company.
Yeah.
So how long
I'm trying
ago
to think of the other places like Gordon's that are closer to
Right.
where he is.
how long ago did you get that, Tammy?
I got it less than a year ago.
Oh, okay. So that was a good one. All right, let me go ahead and pull that down. Just got a free jar of ghee. What do people use it in there for?
Anything you would
Okay.
use it. I use it a lot for frying because it has a really good point. But
Smoke.
anything you would use
Yeah.
butter for, it's just going to have a nuttier taste.
I just made pierogies for dinner, and that's what I'd throw a teaspoon of ghee in there and throw my onions in there and throw the boiled pierogies on top, brown them up, dinner. You use it where you use butter. It just doesn't have the butter fat, so it doesn't burn like when you try to melt whole butter in a frying pan. If it gets too hot, it burns.
Sorry, I'm looking something up here for you guys.
I'm getting dive bombed by a mosquito.
Okay. Yeah, Google's freaking out when I type in Drake's crispy fry mix using fry mix as one word like it is on the box. It freaks out. Did you mean? And it separates it in 2 words, bolds it, italicizes it. Oh, I'm just checking something here, real quick here. Take that, just for those that want to see if I can find the ingredients on it here.
Oh, just put in Drake's fry mix ingredients.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember. And
then pull up images, not the web.
yeah. If I can spell right here. Okay, and
It's got cornstarch, flour, probably a little sugar, and some seasoning.
and every picture over here is making it small instead of huge.
Of course it is.
There we go. So it says wheat flour, corn, salt, cornmeal, whey, spices, coloring, sodium bicarbonate. That's it.
Yeah. Baking soda.
Yeah. So, it has cornmeal, but not as much as it does wheat flour and salt.
Yeah.
And Nightcrawler came in. Question for you, Tammy.
No, definitely not. The opposite. Because
Yes.
you're taking out the water out of the thing, it makes it twice as salty. You do not want to use salted butter to make ghee. You want to use unsalted.
I do.
You can use
I do.
50-50 at the most, but you better love salt if you're using more than that.
Like I said, I do. Most of my, actually 2 cases were salted, 1 was unsalted. I prefer the salted ghee. The unsalted, okay, it's okay, but it needs salt because there's none in there.
I can
And
always
salt
add a
doesn't
pinch of
dissolve in
salt.
oil.
Yeah, I can put a pinch of salt in. I can't take it out.
Yeah.
And most of what I'm cooking already calls for salt. So,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad was on a cardiac diet since 1981. So I'm pretty much used to not eating salt.
Okay. All right. Sandra says she mixes it there. All right. Kaylin says, "Oh, tornado alert there in Des Moines,
Yeah.
southwest part of her county. She's in the north. She's north. She's north of that area."
I thought we got a tornado in my area because there were 3 roofs taking off within 20 miles, 15 miles of where I'm at right now in about a straight line. And then dozens of trees have come down.
It might have been like an F1, barely visible, but enough
It was-
rotating winds to rip stuff off of houses that aren't ready for it.
Well, this is old barns that have been there forever and car dealership's roof. So that was probably built also in the 80s. But it's been kept in really well repair and been used right along since then. It was just straight line winds, high speed straight line winds.
Derecho.
Of course, they always say that here. You didn't have a tornado. You had straight line winds. That's their go-to for everything. Yeah. Unless somebody takes a picture of the funnel, then they can't say that.
Yeah, it was straight line in a circle. Yeah, that's it.
I was just checking. The chef store doesn't carry the Drakes, so they probably have some, and they don't even have something a fry mix of their own listed. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just checking stuff local here. If I can find something like
I was trying to think of the name of what this was that you have there that has.
I'll probably find something. I'll bring it up next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just trying to find something because I have a feeling my wife would love that. I may wind up getting the 5-pound bag for 19. All right. And Moon over Miami's here.
Hey, Moon.
All right. Let me go back here for something here. Cookie mixes, yeah, that's one of the things. All right. So it's been my favorite since I was 4 years old. The Quaker oatmeal cookie. Mm-hmm. Of course, my favorite was with the butterscotch chips added to it. Nestle's butterscotch chips.
Nah, chocolate chips. Got to throw chocolate chips in there.
Or both.
We like, not everybody liked the chocolate. Everyone ate the butterscotch. I'd get mad because I make butterscotch ones, and my mom would be starting on making the chocolate chip for a couple of the others, and they would come over and eat all my butterscotch. It's like, she's making yours. Leave it alone.
Yeah, leave mine alone.
And that had that stupid German axle grease in it called Crisco. So for cookie mixes like that, obviously I'm going to have to add the shortening or whatever to it afterwards.
You can use butter. You can use lard.
Okay.
But that changes the texture of the cookie. So correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, if you use an all butter, you get a very brown, crispy, hard cookie.
Yeah.
If you use half and half margarine and butter, you get a nicely raised, kind of nicely brown cookie. And then if you use all margarine, you get those soft, squishy ones.
Because that stuff, you can't burn that stuff if you throw it at the sun. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah. So it depends on how you like your cookies. But there's pictures, there's tables online that'll show you that.
So if I want to use lard instead of margarine, 50-50 would probably be the better way to go, or?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, folks, you heard it here first.
I mean, if you like those perfect in-between cookies, but again, it's going to depend on your oven temperature and, if your oven heats evenly and all sorts.
Yeah.
Look it up online. There's a chart of what different oils, like if you use vegetable oil, I think they turn like rock hard, and there's a whole chart.
Yeah, because one of the things that we used to do as kids, up until the last batch I made 10 years into marriage, we'd be putting the blobs on the cookie sheet, stick in the oven, and sit there with a spoon, just eat it out of the bowl raw.
Oh yeah. That was the thing until the three-letter agency says you shouldn't eat raw cookie dough. You're gonna die because there's raw eggs in there. Oh man, my grandfather used to eat raw bacon. I mean, it was his bacon. So
yes, bacon grease makes everything better. Omit the salt and use leftover bacon grease for chocolate chip cookies. Yes.
Yeah, nothing like chocolate and bacon together.
Really
Oh.
Yeah. And if you have any little flecks of bacon, it even makes it even better.
That turns it into sort of like the shop down at the Santa Cruz Boardwalk that sells chocolate covered bacon.
Yeah.
Dark chocolate, milk chocolate. Yeah.
There is a deli in Ann Arbor that sells chocolate covered chocolate bars that have bacon in the center. It's basically a chocolate bar with a couple slices of bacon in the center. Somebody brought me one once because I love bacon. And don't go to Ann Arbor.
I'm looking at the list over here. I'm looking at that list on the other screen over here. The brownie mixes. Right now, my wife only for the last 20 plus years has only gotten the Ghirardelli brownie mix.
Yeah,
but you can buy the Ghirardelli cocoa.
Yes, we buy that too. Buy the cocoa. Look what I got sitting right here. I nibble on.
Oh yeah, cacao.
Yeah, I got a couple big boxes of that in the cupboard. But
I mean the powdered cocoa to make the brownies with. You can make your own brownie mix at home with that. That's the only ingredient that's different. It's the Ghirardelli brand cocoa powder.
Yeah. Here's the thing she does though with that the big box. I guess it has 3 batches in it that they sell at Sam's Club and Costco of the Ghirardelli chocolate. She gets the bags of Ghirardelli mini chocolate chips, and then she dumps half a bag into the mix besides what's already, besides the big ones that are in the,
Oh yeah, so for brownies,
you got little itty bitty ones, and then she uses an old recipe that uses the and she can't get the Nestle's powder anymore unless she gets in, the big thing at wherever. But she used to get the small can, those small can about this big, the metal can. She had several of those, and she popped that open. She make chocolate frosting, Nestle's fudge frosting on top of the brownies.
Well, now you got me thinking about brownies. You want to take it up one more notch? Make your Ghirardelli chocolate mix. Throw in your chocolate chips. Watch your moisture level. Throw in a can of Comstock cherry pie filling. Then add enough egg and fluid to make it so the consistency. I forget what the measurement is, but make it so your consistency is a brownie mix, and bake that. You will not be picking that up with your hands, but you will not stop eating it. Yeah. It is just, oh my God.
Yeah, you've got me going through the Betty Crocker book here for cookie recipes to make in jars. And then I found an applesauce cake. I think I'm going to make that up into a couple jars of that too.
All right. Oh, dude. Yeah. So, like I said, if you don't happen to have, let me get to the right page. There we go. If you don't happen to have one of these, go to a thrift store and
They're getting big bucks for those. They're not stupid anymore in the thrift stores. They
I
know
got
what
this
they
one
got.
for $1 at a garage sale this summer, and I of course picked it up for the reason you just said, Mark, because it's worth a lot more than $1 right now.
Well,
Yeah.
garage sales and estate sales are different. It's the thrift stores that they know what they got. And if you're not standing in line 2 hours ahead of time when they put it out, you ain't getting it.
Yeah.
Because that sucker will be on eBay before lunchtime.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there is a lot of good recipes in the Better Homes and Gardens old books. I can't remember the other cookbook from back then. I know Sunset had stuff back in the 60s, you know, their books and stuff. I'm not sure if they had a Sunset
Betty
cookbook.
Crocker.
Betty Crocker, yes, Betty Crocker cookbook.
Yep.
That's
Better
another
Homes
one.
and Gardens or Betty Crocker.
And I'm just gonna look here.
And then Julia Child, of course.
Oh, I'll have to go check the bookshelf in here because there's some. I think there's a couple Julia Child and there's a couple of Miss Jailbird.
Martha.
Yes.
She was just doing what Nancy Pelosi does every day.
Yeah, but they let her get caught. But anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, there is.
Nancy's face this week. I'm sorry. I'm going to go political for a second. I never do. I'm going to for a second.
You mean Miss Plastic Face?
Miss Plastic Face lost her composure and J.D. Vance called her out because the president said he's going to shut down insider trading with senators and congressmen. And the look on, she lost her plastic. It fell off her face. She was so not happy. The look on her face. What says guilty more than that look?
Yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
sorry. I apologize, everyone.
Yeah, Better Homes and Gardens, but I just looked something up here. Sunset Magazine has a book of breads. They got all sorts of different cookbooks too. So, yeah. Oh well, because I know my mom had some of these. Chris may still have those in California of the Sun, because my mom was a subscribed to Sunset, and she got. I mean, she had probably about that wide on the
boxes.
Sunset books.
Yep. Whether the books or the little books, or you had the pamphlets you used to be able to buy at the grocery store.
These are big books.
Sunset had the paperback and they had the hardcover. They weren't those little pamphlets. Were also, I think, Betty Crocker, and they were you had a monthly subscription. It came just like the TV guide, just like every month.
And you could buy it at the grocery store on the checkout line. They always had them on the magazine rack right there.
If you didn't have a subscription, you could do that. But if you didn't buy them by prescription, you didn't get the little folder to put them all in, and you didn't, because they have a binder that you put them all in by year. You didn't get that if you didn't pay for the subscription.
That's cute. You're talking my language. Cookbooks are a prescription, not a subscription. I gotta have it as a prescription.
Subscription, sorry. But yes.
No, prescription works for me.
Too many years of nursing, but that's all right.
Yeah.
You can
Laura
take the
said,
nurse out of nursing, but you can't take nursing out of the nurse.
No. Laura said joy of cooking. That's another one. There's a lot of like James Beard, stuff like that. There's a lot of standalone books that I have a lot of them. Chef's Handbook was one back in the 80s. And it just had all your real basic stuff, but it had a lot of French stuff back then. Everybody was into the French style. So, but they gave you a lot of the basic stuff. I still have my culinary books from school. I made my sister's wedding cake because I was in bake shop and I had my culinary book with butter pound cake, and it was real pound cake. I made a wedding cake, and everybody, even to this day, all her friends are like, we've never had a cake that good, because it was real cake and it was real icing. And I transported that thing 40 miles in the back of my mom's station wagon in 4 pieces and assembled it at the location. That was cool. Man, it was a good cake.
All right. Kaylin's comment here made me think, if your mother or grandmother are still alive, but they're not cooking that much, ask them if they happen to have one of if they have their old cookbook still.
Yeah, here's your problem with that. Grandma, can I have your cookbook? You're not using it. No, I might need it someday. You're not going to get it. Then you just ask, say, can I just read it while I'm here, and or can you leave it to me in the will? And I'm like, yep, I can do that.
Either that, or you pull out your phone and
take
start
pictures.
taking pictures. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts every mom and grandma has made adjustments to the recipes.
My mom's Good Housekeeping cookbook is full of index cards and notations on the sides of the pages.
Yeah,
everything
My
she
mom
changed.
wrote a bunch of notes in pencil.
Oh yeah.
On her. In fact, we all fought over it. I got it, but because she had.
No, she's totally frozen.
Nope, no, she's not. She's back.
She's back.
It was just a lightning bolt. We're good.
I thought Darth Vader poured carbonite on her.
Yeah. What's that, Tammy?
It only freezes up when I try to talk.
Yeah.
I'll just.
All right. Let's let me pull up over here. So we've been at it for an hour.
What's up, Bushcraft? You can watch a replay.
Hey, Bushcraft family. Yeah. So we're going to wrap it up here now, Bushcraft. So just stick around and just zoom it back to the beginning and watch it from the beginning. Sarah Boss is here. Both of them on your side, Tammy. Woohoo!
No, she's on Facebook too.
Yeah, she's on Facebook. Yeah. All right. So coming up here tomorrow on Gray Man Prepping, the topic is network hacking smart devices, such as the screw-in light bulb in your closet that is actually a smart device that'll scan everything on your. Yeah. Anyways, all right. Thursday's the Midnight Ride. Friday back here is going to be Homestead Update. And no, she won't be here. She's not coming until Sunday. Staff Sergeant's coming next Sunday. Saturday on Gray Man Prepping is after the super hurricane. What are your plans? Next Monday is Memorial Day. Do we want to do a live stream or not?
I'll be out at the cabin. It's probably going to be raining on me the whole time, and I'll have crappy signals. So,
all right, everyone, we're going to do a pass unless my nephews who are in the military want to run a military live stream next Monday. So I'll be contacting my one nephew is in the Marines, the other was in the Navy, and we will see if they want to come up here and do a Memorial Day special. All right. With that, everyone, go looking for the cookbooks.
Yeah, Took by V. After the super hurricane, I'll be prepping for the ultra hurricane. The cat infinity hurricane.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Have a good night, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow over on Gray Man Prepping. Take care.
See ya.